Hi, my name is Abhishek Rai and I work for PMC Cloud Lifecycle Management product. Today I'm going to talk about changes required when replacing an existing vCenter server with new vCenter server. This is the part 1 of 2 parts. The plan is to discuss changes required when replacing an existing vCenter server with new vCenter server. This video will be mainly focused on PMC server automation site configurations, and the next part will be focused on cloud artifacts which needs to be changed. Once you're done with the configuration, you will have an understanding of all the BSA objects required to be changed when you replace an existing vCenter server with new vCenter server. During the demo, we will discuss on BSA objects and classes which needs to be changed to make the necessary changes. Let's switch to BSA server automation console and take a look at all of these configurations. Okay, I'm on a PMC server automation console and I've selected my VMware vCenter. But before I perform the changes, when you introduce a new vCenter server, let's make sure to capture the old GUID of your vCenter. For that, you can either run the REST calls or you can use SOAP UI to run that web services call to fetch the GUID of your old vCenter. So here is the get method, and that's your web service call to fetch the GUID of your old vCenter. So I've got HTTPS, BSC hostname, then the web service port, which is by default 10843, then the resources, and in the resources I'm fetching the system object information. In the parameter sections, I'm giving the old vCenter hostname, username, password, and the role. And let's click on this icon. Okay, so here is the result section. You just need to look at the property set instance section and scroll it to the right side, and you can see that URI, and this is the GUID of your vCenter. Copy that GUID and put it on a notepad to compare the old and new vCenter GUIDs. Now let's switch to PMC Server Automation Console. Just in case you do not want to re-enroll the new vCenter server, or you didn't decommission the old vCenter before enrolling the new one, then select or highlight your old vCenter server. Then in the name property section, replace the old name with a new vCenter name over here. Then right click the server and then run the update server properties. This will make sure to update the IP address of the new vCenter server. Once that is done, then switch to configuration, property dictionary view, click on that, and then from here select the connection built-in property, scroll a little bit down, select connection, and then highlight the old VC connection instance, then click on edit, and then over here you'll have to make sure that connection password, connection URL, connection user should point to the new vCenter server. Once that is done, click OK, and then switch to built-in virtualization property and select the virtualization property of your old vCenter. Then click on edit button, and over here you'll have to make sure that it's pointing to the recent connection which you just modified. Once that is done, scroll a little bit down and make sure that virtual entity manager is pointing to the new vCenter which you just modified, and entity type should be VMware Virtual Center. Once that is done, click OK. With these configuration changes, now again open the SOAP UI and run this call and fetch the GUID of your new vCenter which you've just configured. Click over here and then copy the URI from here and compare it. In case it is same, and it should be, as we didn't re-enroll the vCenter server into the BSA console, but just in case you have decommissioned the old vCenter server or you enroll your new vCenter server into BSA, if the URI is different, then we need to perform changes in different cloud classes, which we'll be talking about in next part. The last step which needs to be performed from server automation console is to again click on configuration, property dictionary view, then scroll it to the end to virtualization built-in property, select that and highlight the instance of one of your enrolled server and click on edit. Make sure that virtual entity manager is pointing towards the new vCenter server name. If that is there, then click OK, and the last step is to highlight your vCenter and make sure that virtualization property is pointing to the virtualization property you configured for your new vCenter server. In the next video, we'll talk about cloud classes which needs to be reviewed, and if there are some changes, for example, in case your GUID is different, then we need to replace the old GUID of your vCenter with a new GUID of your new vCenter. I hope this video was informative for you, and I would like to thank you for watching this.